Well, greetings everyone. I have just entered the Sunshine State. Do you know where the Sunshine State is? Well, if you guessed Florida, you're exactly right. Florida is known for its sunshine. It has rain too, but for its sunshine. But it's also known for the types of fruit that come from this state. Fruit like oranges, grapefruit, tangerines. But these fruits are grown on trees, and we know an orange tree by the oranges that are growing on the tree. Well, in Matthew chapter number 7, Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, he talks about, in verse number 16, you will know a tree by its fruit. If you back up a verse or so, you will see that it's talking about false prophets and so on. Well, I've heard people say, well, you shouldn't judge. In fact, Matthew 7:1 says, judge not, lest you be judged. In other words, it goes on and says the same amount of judgment or type of judgment you give to someone else, you're going to be judged by that way. So why would it say in one sense, don't judge, but in another sense, you can know a tree by its fruit? Well, it's common sense. Common sense. You see, some people say, well, you just shouldn't judge me that way. But if the fruit is coming from you, then it's not really judging. You know, and it goes on, if we read, continue reading in that passage, that every good tree is going to bear good fruit. A bad tree is going to bear bad fruit. Now, what kind of fruit are we talking about? Over in Galatians chapter number 5, beginning in verse 22 and 23, Paul talks about the fruit of the Spirit. Now, the Spirit of God is going to produce good fruit. So I want to, in the next few lessons that we have, we're going to be talking about this fruit of the Spirit, the good fruit that comes from having the Holy Spirit within our lives. And so I encourage you to join with us. And I ask you today, are you a good tree or a bad tree? Not judging, but we can tell. Good tree, bad tree. God bless you. See you again tomorrow as we begin our lessons on the fruit.